Okay, today I'm talking about the mark of the beast. I know I do a lot of talking about the image of the beast, and anybody that knows their Bible, it is probably a dozen times already referred to in Revelations about they will worship the image of the beast. But there is a mark of the beast, and these are from, I believe, two different beasts. Now, this is just my opinion. I mean, everybody over the years tells me, oh, no, it's a chip in your hand, chip in your hand. Well, Satan's the father of lies. And he's the author of confusion. So he is pushing all these things to hide things in the background. But, because I don't know how people can even, I used to think it was the chip in the hand as well. But here we have digital identity biometrics in every cell phone, every computer, every border, every airport, it's just every bank. It's just everywhere, and I want to show why. But I'm going to start with the beast that the whore sits upon. United Nations, peoples, multitudes, nations, and tongues. Revelations, I believe, 17:15. The whore, the woman that thou sawest, or the whore that thou saw, or the beast that thou sawest, that the whore sitteth, are peoples, multitudes, nations, and tongues. United Nations. So this is United Nations Legal Identity Agenda. This is Sustainable Development Goal 16.9 by 2030 to provide legal identity for all, including birth registration indicator 16.9.1. Proportion of children under 5 of age whose births have been registered with a civil authority by age. Now what's interesting is, what is this identity, and what is, because we already, I thought, identified everybody, right? So if you go into what is Sustainable Development Goal 16.9, it is 16.9 by 2030 provide legal identity for all, including free birth registration. Okay, indicators and monitoring framework. So they are pushing an identity for the whole world. This isn't just Canada or China or Australia or Africa. This is global, this beast, right? United Nations, right? And they're all part of it. But if we just ask, let's ask the beast that they give the power to both speak and give life. Let's ask that beast, right? What is Sustainable Development Goal 16.9 legal identity?
According to Getting Everyone in the Picture, the inclusion of Target 16.9 means that the provision of legal documentation is being recognized and addressed as a global development issue.
Right. So, I mean, and the current suggestion for indicator on legal identity, right? It's just way too perfect for me to deny anymore, right? I can see it, and that's why he says both all, small and great. Like if we would actually just study a little bit more, I think we would see it, because knowledge has been given to us. So it would take me generations to figure out certain things today by going to all the law books, but I can do it in 30 seconds, right? And let's just see what United Nations is part of, right?
Digital transformation is changing the way we manage our data, our information, our interactions, and our identities online. The United Nations is ready to digitally transform how it deals with identity.
So, okay, so now I'll show you yet a little bit. All these driver's license cards, right? Because all we're doing is taking a picture. It's all good, right? It's all good. All we're doing is taking a picture for our drive-it. We've been doctrined into this, right? And many will be deceived, I think. And that's why he tells you to don't, because if you know your Bible a little bit, those who worship the image, which I believe the image is Sunday to Sabbath translation, but or receiveth of the mark in their right hand or forehead, those will be cast. And you can all say, we'll see, and I've heard it a million times, we'll see, but it will be too late then. You won't. That's why he says to come out of her, my people, right? Because, okay, here's Revelations 13:15, right? And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many would not worship the image should be killed. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand and their foreheads, and that no man might buy or save say he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So over and over, it's referring to this image and the mark, right? And this image, I believe they are going to give through the climate change, the global climate change agenda, where you're bad, because that takes away God's second commandment, right? This image is given the power to both speak and life. And I've given other videos on that image, that AI image, right? But if we just ask again, the beast that they give the power to both speak and life, which is, let's ask this beast again. What is biometric banking?
According to TechTarget, biometric payment is a point-of-sale technology that uses biometric authentication based on physical characteristics to identify the user and authorize the deduction of funds from a bank account.
Right. See, we are right on the verge where they could flick the switch and you wouldn't access. One cyber attack, I believe I don't know how it'll all go yet exactly, but it's just too perfect already. This mark of the beast, we will not be able to access our bank accounts, right? It's in every bank, every border, it's just being pushed across the world by the beast that the horse sits upon, United Nations. And it says point of sale. So that means it's not at your banks. This will be at every McDonald's. Amazon has already taken it. MasterCard has already taken it. I mean, if you Google, a lot of the big corporations are taking this point of sale biometrics, and it's just way too perfect, right? So let's see what the beast that the whore sits upon, and this is one of United Nations sub companies that push her agenda across the world. This is from World Economic Forum. Let's see what they say on digital identity.
It's, as we say, it's really complex. So digital ID could be a game changer with respect to the provision of government services, with respect to humanitarian relief, with respect to anti-corruption, poverty reduction, and even has the potential to solve intractable problems that we have not been able to address in the pre-digital era, such as legal identity, and potentially fulfill one of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, specifically 16.9, which pledges to provide legal identity for all. A billion people around the world do not have legal identity by the year 2030. That said, no other technology except perhaps facial recognition technology, which can be related.
So here she's describing the Sustainable Development Goal 16.9, legal identity for all, for facial recognition, right? So this, you're not changing. There's way too much that is showing that this is the mark of the beast already. And I think it's time to stop saying we'll see and start preparing, because it's going to be very difficult for you and your families at that point to not receive the mark of the beast if you're not going to be a little bit like Noah built the ark because he knew the flood was coming. Well, we all have the Bible. We all have the spirit of prophecy. We can understand these things now today, and God is warning us. But if you're too busy with your idolatry, you'll never see it coming.
The way to do that was through biometric deduplication. That the biometric was the only way that you could make sure that somebody was unique. And this was designed in 2009 when biometrics had not really progressed to where it was today. And we built a biometric deduplication based on fingerprints, iris, and photograph. We felt that with that level of digital granularity, we'll be able to get uniqueness on 1 billion people. So that was the technology that was built. It was built an open source platform, highly scalable. It was built to enroll 1.5 million people a day. And at peak, we had 35,000 enrollment stations across the country. The data is very, very minimalistic and simple. So this is not a data gathering system. This is just an ID system. It has the name, address, very simple things. And we make sure everybody gets only one number through the uniqueness of biometrics. And you can also do online authentication using fingerprint, iris, face, or through a OTP. And this
right. So I mean, this guy is the president of India, or he was at that time, and they and they enrolled 1.6 billion people, and all of India is biometric already, and pretty much cashless, and I think they're actually all cashless, and China is going the same way. They're all going the same way, right? And if you go to let's see, I think he talks about it more a little bit. I can put links in if people want, but let's just see what else they're doing, or this lady says at the very end, because I have never done it, but there is many that have done it already. So let's just see what she has.
So we store the forensic view, the crystal line mapping and the thumbprint of that diamond. We identify that through scientific methods. We give the diamond a digital identity, mapping and the thumbprint of that diamond. We identify that through scientific methods. We give the diamond a digital identity.
So here, the thumbprint of that diamond, right? The thumbprint of that right hand, in your right hand, that mark, right? You know what? You can believe whatever you want. I believe this already, 100%. And I did videos for a couple of years on this, but it is becoming more and more relevant. And this isn't just Canada or United States. This is across the world.
Uganda has launched a massive biometric refugee verification exercise of the estimated more than 1 million refugees living in the country. Over 400 UNHCR staff members have been deployed to work with teams from Uganda's Office of the Prime Minister, WFP, and other partner organizations.
I want to point also this little emblem here, and I missed it in the beginning, because in Revelation 17, that the beast, the leopard, the lion, and the bear, which was Greek, Medo-Persia, and Babylon, they all have those emblems of the Greek wreath, right? United Nations, or they have the Babylonian wings, right? All of Uganda has been, and United Nations does not give you aid if you do not biometric. You cannot get rice or any kind of aid from them unless you're biometricing. So they fought it back for a while. United Nations actually let food rot if you do your homework, because they wouldn't biometric, but they're all doing it now because they need to feed their families, right? And if you look in India, same idea.
Past 7 years, across India, almost every citizen has stood in line to get a new national ID.
Next.
It's a 12-digit number backed by biometric security.
Right? It's not just China or Canada. It's India, Australia. It's the globe. This is United Nations. That here, let's just ask the beast again. Is blockchain part of biometrics?
According to ScienceDirect.com, by incorporating blockchain technology, BDAS provides a decentralized and distributed mechanism for biometric authentication without relying on a central authentication module. In BDAS, each client manages the template fragments independently and processes authentication operations.
Well, I see it changes every day what Google tells you, but I'll read it. By 2030, advances in blockchain technology will lead to its integration with biometrics. And here's that little fingerprint. You see it everywhere. You see the facial recognition sign everywhere. They're programming everybody into being biometric, right? And let's just see. MasterCard Face Pay.
Here are some pictures that match.
MasterCard Face Pay.
According to CNBC, to sign up on MasterCard, you take a picture of your face or scan your fingerprint to register it with an app. This is done either on your smartphone or at a payment terminal.
They are pushing this, and everybody's blind to it. And I've been preaching this for a couple of years already, but it is just coming more and more and more that I believe this, that this is the mark of the beast. But here's Moscow.
On the Moscow Metro can now pay for their commute using facial recognition technology. The system.
Oh, and then we get an ad, eh? Gotta love Well, I mean, at the end of the day, what are you going to do?
System is called FacePay and connects passengers' biometric data to their credit cards. It's been rolled out across all 241 stations in the Russian capital.
241 stations already have this. Europe is always a little bit ahead, but I believe that they don't do Canada and North America, United States, because we are a very strong Protestant nation. We read this Bible and our fathers showed us. And if you do it across the world first and get 2/3 of the earth all doing it, and then plus everybody that doesn't actually understand their scriptures will do it too, the rest of you will comply, just like during the pandemic. I mean, I didn't comply, but but I haven't been locked out of my bank accounts yet. So, but I know that day is coming. I know that day is coming.
Just in time for the holiday travel rush, Delta Airlines and the TSA taking facial recognition to the next level.
State-of-the-art technology rolling out here in Atlanta, also Detroit.
For those who opt in, no more scanning your paper ticket or mobile boarding pass. All you'll need is your face.
Passengers will check in using the phone app with their passport photo on file. Once here, no need to show your driver's license to an agent. Simply walk up to the kiosk, drop your mask. The camera then compares your face with the photo on file and spits out your bag tag.
And I have done this already. In 2019, Canada made biometrics law in the airport that I have to do it. And I didn't actually know that until I'm standing there, and I complied. And it says, God says to set in your heart and your mind what is about to take place. So, if we are caught unaware, sometimes we comply a little bit too easily, and I should have. And now I do believe when this biometrics and you access your bank account, then you'll need to stand and say no. But you better be prepared, right? Here's Canada's biometrics, right?
Canada is joining many countries around the world by using biometrics in an effort to help make travel easier.
So now here you got your facial recognition and your fingerprint with the camera, right? This is Canada. You can Google it yourself. I'm going to try and make it a little bit shorter. But at the end of the day, this is here. This is Canada website, citizenships and immigrations, right?
The World Economic Forum is meant to be dismissed as a so-called conspiracy theory. If that's the case, why is the Federal Liberal Party copying its policies? Scott Morrison's so-called Trusted Digital Identity Bill is a copy-paste directly from the World Economic Forum.
So this is all through United Nations, and this guy fights for it. I can see that he might not know it's the mark of the beast, or he does, and he doesn't come out, but he's a politician from Australia. So this isn't just like Russia or China or like you can Google it. It's all over, right? And they're pushing it in all sectors, right? And if you create the problem to get the solution, so what do you create? You create all these online frauds and voter registration. Like, we want to know who you are. So if you create enough garbage of fraud online and this, they'll get everybody to take it because everybody's sick of it, right? Oh, I'm not sure why.
Fingerprint and facial recognition technologies to help. What is a biometric voter registration system? Many countries have adopted biometric systems such as fingerprint and facial recognition technologies to help prevent voter fraud under multiple aliases.
Right, so they're just trying to push it more and more. And why not make it law? Because now we've created a problem, thinking that the elections are stolen and all these things. Let's make it legal, right? This is a well-played chess game, and people just stream and follow into it, right? Let's see what Estonia says about their new on the World Economic Forum, their new digital identity.
The ID card, like this one we have in Estonia, are the mandatory in Estonia for all public services, but also for the whole economy. Since the ID card, like this one we have in.
This is just like your driver's license. This is your digital identity. This is going to be difficult, people, because anybody that taketh this mark in their right hand or in their forehead so that they can buy or sell will go through eternal damnation. So I think this is not something you should shake your head on. Like, if you believe the Bible, if you believe it, if you don't believe it and you think that God is going to just save you from everything, well, I mean, yeah, he can. But I know that you need to repent in order to do that. And he's telling you, don't worship the image or receive it of this mark, right?
In Estonia are mandatory in Estonia. It gave many companies an automatic customer base, making it profitable to build new services on it, so digital identities can support new business generation and also innovation. When you think about the economic,
I've actually experienced the digital economy in Estonia every single time I've gone there. It truly is remarkable. But we've just completed an extensive study of
what? You see this digital diamond of the thumbprint, and it says digital identification, and you'll just
the issue of digital identity, and this is the result of work and research that we do. Remarkable. But we've just completed an extensive study.
Digital identification, a key to inclusive growth. So what, are you going to exclude people if we don't accept this digital identity? Like, is that the way this is going? Because that's the way it looks. They're doing studies on this, and this is the diamond of that thumbprint so that they can access, right? That this will be an access thing where you cannot buy or sell. So, I mean, you can believe whatever you want. This is my opinion, and I know not everybody agrees with my opinion, but I mean, let's see. Here's the president
I worked
of
in
India
the government
again.
for about 4.5 years, built a very modern digital ID platform using biometric deduplication. And when I stepped down in March of 2014, there were about 600 million people on the platform. Today, there's about 1.2 billion people on the platform, and we have had two different governments, but the project has been very successful in both governments. And
And that is true. They have been successful in both governments, right? And let's just see again. I cut it short there a little bit because I wanna try and show everything here. But let's see what this lady has to say on the same panel.
Have one particular use of technology or one particular application, whether it be a fingerprint or iris scan, one particular application, whether it be a fingerprint or iris scan or facial recognition, but
Again, they are going this direction and they are hiding it under everybody's face. And the father of lies is telling everybody it's a chip in your hand, it's a chip in your head, and fill the internet with lies so that nobody can actually see it, right? Or it's very hard to, they don't get in there. But and let's just see with the beast that they give the power to both speak and life again. Let's see. Can AI help identify people?
According to RecFaces, intelligent, AI-based software can instantaneously search databases of faces and compare them to one or multiple faces that are detected in a scene.
Instantaneously. So this is that beast that they give the power. And let's see, is biometrics law in Canada?
According to Canada.ca, when you apply for a Canadian visitor visa, study or work permit, temporary resident permit or for permanent residence, you need to give your fingerprints and photo, unless you are otherwise exempted. We collect your biometrics so we can establish and confirm your identity.
Well, this is against my religion, and I can prove it, and I will show, because this is the mark in your hand and your forehead. Look at that. It's always, look for those fingerprints and those facial recognition things. I'm sure you see it on your banking apps already, right? And step by step of Canadian biometrics, right, with the blockchain.
If you are traveling to Canada and need a visa or permit, or are applying for permanent residence, you may be required to give your biometrics, fingerprints, and a photo.
Again, fingerprints and the photo, right? And just to show you, this isn't just the right or the left pushing this, because the Bible says they all have one mind to fulfill. And gotta love it, because I'm kind of a fan.
the biometric entry-exit visa tracking system, which we need desperately. For years, Congress has required biometric entry-exit visa tracking systems, but it has never been completed. The politicians are all talk, no action, never happens, never happens. Hillary Clinton, all talk. Unfortunately, when there is action, it's always the wrong decision. Do you ever notice? In my administration, we will ensure that this system is in place. And I will tell you, it will be on land. It will be on sea. It will be in air. We will have a proper tracking system.
And the sad thing about that is, is that we're not going to escape from this, because I mean, there's a verse in 1 Corinthians 15:52, I believe it says, I bestow a mystery upon you, the last trump and the trumpets will sound. And I do believe, well, I mean, it sticks in my gut that this last trump, he's been bred by Jesuit Catholics and he's about to take over. I mean, but I'm not a fan of the right or the left. I think all governments, but Christians, I believe, this is my opinion of what the mark of the beast, not the image. The image is the Sabbath to Sunday translation or a transition, and that's the image that they worship of Rome, and that's her day, not the Lord's day. But this is the mark of United Nations where the horse sits upon. Hopefully this helps people.